Okay, folks, turn 52. In this turn, we bound our first Archdevil. So we got Magoth, the Archdevil. The Archdevils are not going to give us a whole lot of magical variety, since they are basically just all fire mages, and Magoth is an astral mage. But they will give us high-level fire access on fast-flying chassis that are also quite tough, so that's useful. Magoth here also, as I said, gives us the astral fire crosspath, which Spirit of 76 already has. But Magoth is mobile, which Spirit of 76 is not, so that could be useful. He can fly around and cast, like, Telestic Animation in places if he wants to. Or what have you. In any case, we're binding another Archdevil just because we can. We're still casting Curse of Years a couple of times a turn. We've actually got a lot of Thralls here at this point, so we should start using them for something like patrolling, notably. Where's my... There's my Horde of Skeletons script. So, these bros are going to fly off to join someone. So, I've pretty much decided... It's just sort of a delicate period. Because, you know, whatever way I jump, I'm probably going to lose, to be honest. Just because I'm not big enough. And, of course, my nation was never drafted to be strong enough to really compete with these guys or these guys. But I just kind of have to pick which one I'm going to fight. And I think I'm going to fight the Blood Boys because they're on top. So we're gonna challenge them first. These guys, actually, they're not going to go anywhere. They're just going to research for now. They're going to sit here. We're gonna get a whole bunch of Vampire Lords piled up in the Mercs. We'll sneak them down in here. We're going to sneak a whole bunch of Assassins down in here, which we already have quite a few, actually. And our first goal, our chief weapon will be Surprise. Surprise and Fear. And we're going to start off by just fucking assassinating our way through local forts, killing skeptics, killing sages, killing flagrant priests, doing whatever damage we can ahead of the invasions. Now that does mean that a whole bunch of mages and troops have to move. Not all of them, but a bunch. We may end up getting backstabbed by Kalkheim. It's possible. There's not a whole lot I can do about that if that is the case. So, you know, we'll just burn that bridge when we come to it. And, move on from there. So we got these 6 heading down that way. But I think when we launch our attack, if we do it right, and especially if we do it with a whole bunch of flying Vampire Lords deep striking, I think we can take a lot of provinces right at the start. Which is, of course, a good thing. And we've got some crossbows, so we're going to give some crossbows to these guys. And have these guys toddle on south. We do need to take Gaeta, which is critically damaged, so it should be going down pretty soon. Still lots of blood hunting going on. Now, unfortunately, and I don't think I mentioned this, it didn't happen, like, right now, but they removed flying from Hellenbrecht. Why? I don't know. I guess they thought that him being on a horse prevented him from flying, despite the fact that it's explicitly a demon horse that he bred magically, so I don't get why Hellenbrecht can't fly, but now he can't fly. He's still by far the most dangerous of the new Ulmish vampire counts, but he's just not allowed to fly, apparently, so, you know, that is what it is, I guess. We're also going to forge him real quick an Amulet of Anti-Magic, and he should also have some reinvigoration. He doesn't really need better armor. He doesn't really need a better weapon. He could use a little bit more fire resistance, possibly, if he's going to try to turn timer armies. But honestly, well, yeah, okay, so he does need more fire resistance if he's going to be fighting Unimaginable, because Unimaginable is using armies that have the double auras, the heat aura and chill aura, which will fatigue you out very, 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 very quickly unless you have a ton of resist. And he'll also need, like I said, reinvigoration. Ooh, that's going to be a little bit tricky to get, actually. We'll see what we can do. Because, yeah, he's going to need more fire resistance and more magic resistance, definitely. But then he'll also need... I know. We'll give him a dragon helmet. Do I have a hammer? Yes, we'll give him a dragon helmet. And we'll give him a... Not a shield of gleaming gold. A charcoal shield wouldn't actually be bad. Maybe. No, because the enemy had... all their sacred units have a bunch of fire resistance as well. And that only gives +5. We really do need more than that. Burning Pearl might not be terrible. That would push him up to 10. What better shields might we have available? Golden Hoplon. Parry of 9. What's your shield currently? Kite Shield of Ulm, parry of 6. So that would increase your parry rating by 3. And give you a bunch of fire resistance. So yeah, let's do that. Let's forge a Golden Hoplon. Dragon Helmet. And then we'll get a Girdle of Might. Okay. That should be okay for Hillenbrecht. He may not be able to turn timer an army that way, but he'll at least be able to fight against smaller groups by himself. And our goal, of course, is going to be when we launch our initial strike to just overwhelm the border. Now, I'm not going to declare war on Unimaginable just yet, even though, well... Oh god, it's hard to say. In some ways, I probably should, since we've got 3 turns before the non-aggression pact expires, but I'm just worried that I don't have the troops organized to do that. So, we'll see. But what I am going to do is, I am going to take these lads and start bringing those Bone Fiends south to finish off that, fort. Likewise, we've got Olga here. We've got 20-some of our fiery boys. And we are going to summon another Ujigami and forge a Helmet of Heroes for him. Alright, I think that's about all I need to do this turn. In terms of research, we're going to hit Conjuration level 6 pretty quick, level 7 fairly shortly after that. At that point, we'll be up to 7 or 6 in everything, which is not a bad place to be. And then we will consider where we want to go to our first level 8 or 9. And what it will be that would be useful for me. Flames for the Sky won't be terribly useful in this context. Higher level Alteration might be, but definitely bringing air magic for Fog Warriors will be a critical part of the plan. And Doom, and etc. Getting up to level 8 Alteration for Will of the Fates, and Ground Army, and stuff like that, that would be really handy. So, we're going to grab that. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all on turn 53. Okay, turn 53. We finally breached Gaeta. We're moving our troops down to take it. We're also moving a whole bunch of troops around in various directions. We're still kind of marking time a little bit. I'm summoning more Archdevils, so we've got both Igarak and Magoth at this point. More Assassins coming out, more Vampire Lords. We're still casting Curse of Blood. Oknar Hadu should also be casting Curse of Blood. Please cast Curse of Blood, thank you. So, more Vampire Lords arriving, more Assassins. I've got a pretty significant grip of Vampire Lords at this point. Whole bunch of Occultists over here. I don't know why they're just defending. They should be either summoning Bone Fiends or researching. We'll just set them to research for right now. And overall, things are going pretty okay. Still got some Heavenly Fires coming out. Got plenty of Death Gems, actually, that I should start doing something with at some point here. But honestly, I feel pretty decent about this. Once these troops move down, I will storm Gaeta, and at that point, I will be in a position to choose my next target. We've got a whole bunch of assassins hidden inside the territory of the Blood Boys who must be stopped, and at this point, okay, if I really wanted to try to stay competitive in the game, at this point, my next move would probably be end my non-aggression pact and attack Illwinter. But I am going to we're gonna fight the Blood Boys. Who dares wins. Fortune favors the bold or the stupid, etc. We're gonna go in hard. We're gonna do what we can against the hordes and hordes and hordes and hordes of demons. I happen to know he has a huge horde of demons just sitting around here, like a couple hundred of them. He's got demon armies over this way. We'll see what we can do. We'll just kind of see how it goes. But we are going to fight them. We'll hit Conjuration level 7 next turn, and then Alteration, and then Evocation, all kind of upping to useful levels. Alteration level 8 will be especially useful because Will of the Fates will give my army a lot more staying power against his troops. Conflagration could potentially help as well, which is kind of a cool spell. But we'll just kind of see how it goes. So, actually, one of the important things will actually be Alteration 9, because since he's got Heat and Chill auras, what we'll need is... Yeah, level 8 will give us Warriors of Muspelheim and Niflheim. Niflheim is going to be kind of hard to cast, but if we can drop both of those on our army, that will make us much more resistant to the double Heat aura effect, which otherwise is going to make fighting his troops in melee extremely difficult, since, as you'll recall, they are very hard to hurt because of their bless, and then they also have the double aura, so they fatigue out anyone who's fighting them very quickly. Now, since I'll be able to spam damage spells and such at them, that will help, but even so, you do want your troops to at least stay functional for some degree of time. And various buffs of that kind will definitely help. That said, troops definitely are going to be just pretty much meat shields against the Seirim, so we will not be relying on them to actually do the killing. The killing is to be done by primarily Magi, for which, of course, I have a whole bunch of Magi right here. I got a whole bunch of Magi coming down this way, like a lot of Magi coming down this way, gathering up with these Magi, and I've also got some thuggy boys scattered around. So, we'll see how things go in the coming turns. See you next time. Alright, folks, it's turn 55. I did stay a last turn. Tech rate has finally fallen. I have decided we're going to be declaring our war against the Blood Boys shortly. Right now, we're storming Gaeta. I'm deploying a whole bunch of vampires and assassins and things into Blood Boys territory. We're going to aim for a massive alpha strike. We'll see how well it goes. All these friendly magey fellows are rolling on south. Along with, like, I think there's some troops here. Nope, I'm wrong. There's no troop. There's fucking no troops here. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Who needs troops, right? Nobody needs troops. Troops are just unnecessary. Question mark. I would like to have some of these troops, though. Do I have a vampire here? I've got Helmbrecht, but he can't fly, which is what I actually wanted the vampire for. Aha, okay. So, Toro here has about 100 dudes, and he is going to move. Now, we're starting to build some thug kit as well, specifically. So we've got him a Helmet of Heroes. We're getting Herald Lances forged, at the very least for Helmbrecht and Burkhard Nachtzer. Both of them are going to be equipped with fire resistance gear, heavy armor, and Herald Lances. And that should enable them to do some damage against the demons, because they will be protected from fire and cold, and they will also be doing triple damage to, well, demons, which should mean they'll be able to punch some damage through the layered defenses, especially with magical weapons and all that jazz. So it should be a good time, hopefully. So Helmbrecht is going to get his, instead of this Firebrand, since they are fire resistant, he's just going to get the Herald Lance, which will do triple damage, which will mean he'll be doing like 60, 70 some damage per hit with it, which would be fantastic. On top of that, of course, he's regenerating. He has Girdle of Might, Anti-Magic, the Golden Hoplon, which gives him fire resistance, so he'll be fire resistant 15 and cold resistant 15. He'll be able to make himself more defensive. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be a decent way to do things. I am critically short of funds at the moment. My net income per turn is only about 900, so it is about time to be going to war. To be honest, it's getting to be about that time. War is coming, and it's a good thing too. Now, are there any cool, great spells that these guys could be casting for me instead of moving around? They could summon Mound Fiends. And if I had Death 5, they could call Wraith Lords. Or we could summon Vampire Troops, which might be interesting. Huh. Not super worried about it. If we can give these archdevils cold resistance gear, then they could also be highly effective in the thugging role, albeit they are not immortal and they don't regenerate, which makes them somewhat less effective. That said, they could be, I don't know, they could be useful for casting spells of some kind. Magoth is forging a golden hoplon for me right now. Burkhard, actually, instead of researching, Burkhard should move. I don't need those guys, Burkhard. Just hop on down there to the Mercs and join the Black Parade, please. So, that's the plan. It's probably not going to go well, but we're going to give it a good old college try. We will see how well we can do. We will attempt to destroy our foes, drive them before us, and hear the lamentations of their women. We're going to bind up a whole bunch more bone fiends just for shits and giggles to make sure that we have plenty of chaff to stand around in front of us looking stupid and absorbing damage. And all these various assassins are just gonna sneak on down in. My assassins won't be able to actually depopulate places because, of course, he does have province defense, but they will be able to assassinate a whole bunch of, like, priests and commanders and at least cause trouble. So that'll be the hope there. They will cause trouble ahead of the invasion, and then the invasion will storm in and hopefully place under siege and then capture fortresses that are not, in fact, being defended, like Rim Mountains. The real issue in Re that will actually be handling his teleporting monolith, which is going to be kitted up to resist everything. Resisting everything for the monolith, I may be able to still kill the monolith, but it will be a matter for masses and masses of mages. And we'll just see how it goes. In any case, this should be a fun little adventure. And we will find out how it works out for me. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in turn 56. Alright, folks, it's turn 57, not turn 56, because I played turn 56, and then, like an idiot, I didn't actually record at that time, and so the turn went away before I remembered to record, because I'm dumb. As happens sometimes. So, we have ended our non-aggression pact with the Blood Boys, so we will be moving in against them shortly, come turn 59. Why am I doing this? Because I want the game to progress. And, because it's getting to, be almost turn 60, which is, in my mind, time to fish or cut bait, to shit or get off the pot. Other metaphors. Other similar metaphors. So, we are preparing to move in. So we've got Hellenbrecht here. Hellenbrecht is geared up to fight the enemy Sacreds. He is fatigue negative. He's highly fire and cold resistant, which should mean that their paired auras don't affect him much. He's got very high protection against mundane attacks, which should mean that he bounces pretty much all of those massive numbers of attacks that will be coming his way. He's equipped with the Herald Lance, which does 75 damage per hit versus demons. And he's got his regular lance and his huff attack, of course, so all that's fine. In terms of other gear that I could give him, I could, I suppose, get something in the helmet and armor slots, but to be honest, the high prot is, I think, pretty decent. Especially because this gear setup is relatively cheap. It's not, like, super incredibly expensive. So he can fight with it and just, you know, not die, and he'll be fine. I could also equip Ujigami to do this, with fire resistance gear and such. Oh, by the way, and Hellenbrecht's script is Earth Plower, Earth Plower. Ha, Freudian slips. Earth Power, Temper Flesh, Iron Will, Iron Skin. The Iron Skin isn't really relevant against mundane attacks, it's only actually relevant against magical attacks. So he doesn't necessarily need that either. We can probably cut that off, I guess. When he summons Earth Power, he does reinvigorate like 7 fatigue per round. So it won't hurt him, I guess. So yeah, we can drop Iron Skin. He's not stealthy, and unfortunately he doesn't fly, of course, anymore, so that's sad. I've also got Burkhard Nachtzer. Burkhard Nachtzer is equipped similarly. He's also got, good protection. He is shock, fire, and cold resistant, so he's actually resistant to every element. And he has a Bloodthorn, so he has a life drain attack, which will, of course, help with his, stack with his natural regeneration for his high hit points, so he should be able to regenerate quite a lot. He, likewise, is not stealthy anymore, so he's just standing here researching, kind of waiting for things to happen. We've got a whole bunch of vampires sneaking into enemy territory. Now, the point of the vampires, of course, will be to lock down forts temporarily in order to prevent the enemy from recruiting from them for a little bit, and generally kind of create nuisances of themselves while the armies roll in. Now, I only have 54 fire gems right now, so I actually need to not cast Heavenly Fires too much, because I have to have enough fire gems to recast it if necessary. Also, I don't remember exactly when this went up, but sometime fairly recently, Gifts of Nature's Bounty went up for Kalkheim, which increases his income tremendously, plus 20% per Dominion candle. So his income is through the fucking roof, which is great for him. I'm really glad. Happy for him. No, I'm not. That's a lie. I'm not actually happy for him at all. In any case, my research is really high at the moment, so this is good research at this point of the game. We'll hit evocation level 7 next turn, which will, of course, give me Firestorm, Murdering Winter, Rain of Stones if I ever want to cast that, which I don't really, and Cloud of Death. Cloud of Death is a pretty good spell, especially because it doesn't affect the undead. So if I'm crapping out millions of skeletons, I can have some of my vampires drop Cloud of Death, and it does just straight armor negating damage. It is MR negates, but still, pretty good armor negating damage to people. I could actually go up to evocation level 8 to have Pillar of Fire, which would do pretty decent damage, but especially if I'm fighting mainly demons, I don't really need it. Vortex of Unlife also wouldn't be bad. So that's a possibility. Second Son, don't need. Second Son is fairly unimpressive, unimportant. But we've got lots and lots of decent combat spells that I think will help us with this. We have Enchantment up to level 7, which means our armies we can also drop. What was I thinking of? We can cast... I'm in the wrong school. Alteration level 8. That's what I was thinking of. We can not only cast Marble Warriors, we can also cast Will of the Fates, Ground Army, and Warriors of Niflheim or Warriors of Muspelheim. So we can make our troops highly resistant, well, not highly, but somewhat resistant to both heat and cold with the right randoms. Now, in terms for Water 4, I am going to need better water than I currently have. I'm going to need Warrior Mages for Water 4. I don't really have the money to recruit them, unfortunately. In fact, I'm just critically short of cash in general. I am going to start recruiting them down here to see if I can get a water random going. In order to cast that, then, I am going to need a couple of crystal matrices to link them. I can't say words tonight, Jesus. To link them into communions. And where's my water randoms? You are just defending, you can research. And my various scouty boys can go a scouting. A scouting they will go, a scouting they will go. Hi-ho the Dario, a scouting they will go. Unfortunately, they can't go scouting in that direction because that goes through the Infinite Skeleton Parade. And the Infinite Skeleton Parade will not allow scouts through. Stop trying to go through the Skeleton Parade. Thank you. They just, I swear they have a death wish. They're trying to get themselves killed. In any case, these guys are all sitting here researching and generally being, like, slightly defensive. This fort, if it's attacked by skeletons, will fall immediately. Ophagian here needs to move down that way because he's a water random. And I think I'm probably going to get fucking rolled, but we're going to try it. We're just going to give it a shot, see what happens. It should be fun. It'll be a good time. We will see how well our anti-demon armies work against the demons. And we'll be raiding with millions and millions of vampires all the time, which will be just a good old time. Oh, Lothar Blumenreuter is insane. Great, I love it. In any case, that's the turn. I'll see y'all in turn 58, and like I said, turn 59, the orders will be given and the war will kick off. See you then.